Hello, magnificent art students. Hey, what does Andy Warhol and Endangered Species have in common? Welcome to week 36. Come with me and find out. Week 36. Andy Warhol and Endangered Species.
Who was Andy Warhol? Andy Warhol was a U.S. artist famous for his paintings of Campbell's soup cans and portraits of celebrities. Warhol himself became a celebrity in part because of his unusual personality and sense of style. Andy Warhol, as he was originally named, was born in Pennsylvania in about 1828. He studied art at the Carnegie Institute of Technology. After graduating in 1949, he moved to New York City. There, he drew illustrations for advertisements, but he wanted to be an artist whose works were shown in art galleries. Why was Andy Warhol famous? Well, in 1962, Warhol showed some of his paintings at a gallery. He had painted 32 pictures of different flavors of Campbell's soup. The soup cans were all painted in the same flat style. Warhol's paintings were a new kind of art. Warhol took familiar objects and made them into art. Warhol and other artists were called pop artists because they took images from popular culture or everyday life. What does Andy Warhol have to do with endangered species? While Warhol is best known for his pop art and films, his interest in nature was lifelong. As a child, he drew animals in science class, kept a flower garden in the family's yard, and drew in Schenley Park and Phipps Conservatory. In order to highlight the importance of endangered species, Andy Warhol created a series of paintings to bring the importance of learning about endangered species. What is an endangered animal? An endangered animal or plant is endangered when there are so few left alive on the planet that the entire species is in danger of vanishing forever. When a species is completely gone and not a single one survives anywhere on Earth, it is considered extinct. What kinds of endangered species did Andy Warhol paint? Bald eagle, black rhinoceros, African elephant, orangutan, Grevy's zebra, bighorn ram, giant panda, Pine Barrens tree frog, San Francisco silver spot butterfly, and the Siberian tiger. Our art project. Today we will choose an endangered animal and create an animal portrait inspired by Andy Warhol style art. What do you notice about this art? What do you notice about the colors? Let's get started. Today, I will teach you how to draw the head of a Siberian tiger, one of my favorites. All right, so for today, I decided to not use my whiteboard because I have been practicing my Siberian tiger on my whiteboard with my classes. So I'm feeling pretty confident about drawing it on paper. And I will be using a Sharpie to draw it step by step with you so you can follow along. I don't recommend using a Sharpie if you haven't practiced the Siberian tiger before, or I don't recommend a Sharpie for anything unless you've practiced something before, because Sharpies are permanent, right? You can't erase a Sharpie. And for my colors, my Andy Warhol inspired Siberian tiger face, I'm just going to be using regular old crayons. So I got my crayon box ready to rock and roll here off to the side so that I can add some vibrant colors to my Siberian tiger when I'm finished with it. Now, before we even get started, I want to say something about the tiger face. It's pretty symmetrical. At least it is. We'll think about symmetry when we draw. And remember what that means is here. Let me show you the one I just made in one of my classes. I'm not quite finished with it, so don't judge. What I mean by symmetrical, if you don't remember, is that basically if I drew a line down the center of my tiger's face, so like right there, this side of the Siberian tiger's face is pretty symmetrical to this side. And just thinking about this will help us when we draw the face of the Siberian tiger, because it's basically kind of like whatever you do on one side, you kind of copy it on the other side. Symmetry. So, and I am going to, that looked kind of complicated, didn't it? The tiger face, that is. It's not, especially if we do step by step. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the nose. And the nose is basically like a triangle. And then, so what I'm going to do about right here in the middle of my paper, I am going to start with the letter V. This is going to be the bottom of the nose. Now, instead of just doing it like completely flat across the top, I'm going to make it a little bit like dipped like that. So there is the nose. So basically, boom, right in the middle of my paper. Not so perfect right in the middle, but good enough. Right in the middle of my paper is the nose. Now, in order to get the eyes in the correct place, what I like to do is I like to draw a little, sort of like a curve, like a flat rainbow, about 2 fingers width up from the nose. And the reason for that, you'll see in a minute, because once I have this line, this is like the top of the nose. When I have that line, it's going to be a lot easier for me to place my eyes in the correct place. Now, a tiger's eyes, if you feel free to do like a Google image search of a Siberian tiger face, tiger's eyes are kind of like the shape of a lemon. And the way I do that, so I'm going to go up to this curve. I'm going to just go a little bit over to off to the side here, and I'm going to do another curved line. This is the top of the eye, and I'm going to mimic or copy that same line but down. So you see how it looks kind of like a little lemon. So I'm going to try my best now, because it's symmetrical, so whatever I do on this side, I want to copy on this side, right? I'm going to try my best to do this eye over here. So I went over about right here. I did like the top of the lemon and then the bottom of the lemon. Now, please don't feel stressed out if they're not exactly symmetrical. This is art, and we're not actually tracing or anything. And I'm just going to do a little circle. If I do a circle there, I do a circle there. Symmetrical. Okay, so we have the eyes, we have the nose. Let's continue. Cats have cute cheeks. So they have this little line that goes down right in between, right in between their cheeks, right down from their nose. And the tiger's mouth, I'm just gonna do 2 curved lines like this. Symmetry. I'm going to do the cheeks. So I'm actually going to be doing little kind of zigzaggy lines because the tiger is fuzzy. It's hairy, right? So the cheeks are going to kind of come down here to about the mouth. The same on this side. And then I'm going to do the chin. And the chin is also very fuzzy and hairy. It looks kind of like a beard. So I'm just going to start from this side. So right from that curve on top of the nose, I'm just going to do sort of a curved line down. So one cheek, try to, copy the same shape that you made the first time on the other side. Good enough. I'm going to do the tiger's beard. It goes down. The chin, actually, but it looks like a beard, right? And up, using little zigzaggy lines to create texture. And let's give it a bottom lip here. If you want to make your tiger look fierce, you could give it teeth, some fangs sticking out, or the mouth open, but I'm just going to keep mine kind of simple for right now. I'm going to add the whisker, sort of some whisker spots, just some random little circles. Feel free to add whiskers later when you add your details. For right now, I'm just going to add some little whisker spots on the nose. I'm even going to add 2 little curvy lines because the tiger needs to breathe through his nose. And actually, when I'm looking at these eyes, I'm kind of noticing that they don't have to be perfectly symmetrical, but if you look at a tiger's eyes, oh my gosh, they have these beautiful black, sort of like a black outline around it. So I'm going to just kind of try to just add a little bit of that in here. And beautiful eyes, right? Cats have beautiful eyes, all cats. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to keep going, okay? I'm pretty satisfied so far. I'm going to do the top of the head. The top of the head is going to be a little fuzzy, curved line. Not all the way at the top of the paper, not too close to the eyes. Let's see, maybe like a 2 or 3 finger width from basically here, one side of the eye to the other. So you can watch what I'm talking about. So a curvy line about there. So about from that side of the eye to that side of the eye, just trying to keep it, a little bit more symmetrical. Now, if you look at the ears of a tiger, they basically have it's like a mix. It's like cross between like a house cat ears and a bear's ears. So they're kind of triangular, but they're a little bit rounded on the top. So when I create my ear, it's going to kind of go up a little bit round and then back down. So you see that it's not quite like your house kitty, your kitty that purrs and makes bread on your lap. It's a little bit more curved, a little bit more round, not quite like a bear. It's kind of like right in between. And I'm just going to add some more dimension to that ear by doing a fuzzy line inside. Cats have lots of hair that's kind of like inside their ears, right? Now, tigers have big, especially Siberian tigers. They are the largest cats, by the way. They have really thick faces. So I'm going to create this sort of zigzag texture. You'll see, you watch me first and then you do, how these videos work. That kind of goes down here till about the chin, and then I'm going to do another layer because their faces are actually quite thick. So what I'm talking about is I'm going to do a zigzaggy line like that. And I'm just going to jump over the other side before I add that second layer just to keep it, symmetrical. Now I'm just going to add one more layer. You'll see what I mean. Around here. Symmetrical. Kind of copy that same. Obviously, your little zigzag fuzzy lines are going to be perfectly symmetrical. That would take a long time. So voila, we have the basic head of a Siberian tiger. What are we missing? That's right, we're missing the stripes. If you do a Google image search of a tiger's face, their stripes are really unique. They kind of go like this. And I'm just going to leave my stripes empty. I'm not going to color them black like a realistic tiger because I sort of am, I am inspired by the Andy Warhol art, and I'm wanting to sort of infuse my art with some different colors that aren't quite like the natural tiger, right? So see how I'm making my stripes are just empty? They're like a super flat letter V. They're like a super flat letter V. Let's go ahead and add some more fuzz in those ears, right? And then feel free to just add stripes as you please. If you want to follow me, then I'm going to add a stripe here. It looks like an eyebrow. And whatever I do on that side, I'm just going to, copy on the other side just to kind of keep it symmetrical. A couple little stripes in here. We got a couple stripes around the eye. Notice how my stripes are also fuzzy because they're, right, it's part of the hair. So here's another stripe. Symmetrical. I know I'm going fast, but you know how these videos work. You can press pause at any time if I'm going too fast, and you can catch up. I know even in my art class, though, kids are like, Miss Freels, you're going too fast. I think that I am just going to leave it like this for now. And I'm going to kind of jump right in. Oh, one more thing I want to do. If you look at a tiger's nose, it kind of has like this part would be pretty flat, like if you were looking at the side of the face. So I just wanted to add that one last little detail there. All right. Now remember, you can totally make this realistic. You could look up a Google image search of a Siberian tiger and do the beautiful sort of orange and black and white. Or you can get really silly with Miss Freels and color your tiger however you like. I did give you a sneak peek of the one that I'm working on still. So I mixed it. This one's like half and half, right? I did some dark orange mixed with light orange, so beautiful, and some dark green and light green stripes. I think for this one, I'm going to even just get a little bit more crazy. Why? Because why not? And have so much fun making this Siberian tiger. And at the very end of the video, hang out, because I'm going to give you some special tips on how you can play a part in keeping our endangered animals safe, and how you can help to become a better human on this beautiful planet of ours. All right, here we go. The Siberian tiger, also known as the Amur tiger, is the largest cat in the world. A male can weigh around 500 to 600 pounds or more, and be nearly 11 feet long. Siberian tigers primarily live in eastern Russia's birch forests. A small number live in parts of northeastern China and North Korea. The Siberian tiger once lived in Siberia. Today, they are also known as Amur tigers because of the small area they live in. Russia is restricted to eastern Russia, which is also known as the Amur region. Siberian tigers are covered in thick, long fur that keep it warm. No two tigers have the same striped pattern. The Siberian tiger is a mammal. It mainly lives alone and is highly territorial. They like to eat wild boars, deer, water, buffalo, moose, gazelles, hares, rabbits, musk deer, lynx, and jackals. However, its main diet consists of wild boar. That's a pig. They also sometimes hunt birds and fish, such as salmon. Help to protect and save our endangered animals. Well, first of all, you can learn about endangered species and learn about endangered species in your area. Teach your friends and family about the wonderful wildlife, birds, fish, and plants that live near you. The first step to protecting endangered species is learning how interesting and important they are. Next, you can make your home wildlife friendly. Secure your garbage in shelters or cans with locking lids. Feed pets indoors and lock pet doors at night to avoid attracting wild animals into your home. Reduce the use of water in your home and garden so that animals that live in or near the water can have a better chance of survival. Next, you can learn about native plants and plant native plants. Native plants provide food and shelter for native wildlife. Next, stop using herbicides and pesticides. They might help your yard look real nice, but in fact, they are hazardous pollutants that affect wildlife at many levels. Many herbicides and pesticides take a long time to degrade and break down, and they build up in the soils or throughout the food chain. And predators such as hawks, owls, and coyotes can be harmed if they eat poisoned animals. Next, you can recycle and buy sustainable products. Buy recycled paper, sustainable products like bamboo and Forest Stewardship Council wood products to protect forest species. Never buy furniture made from wood from rainforests. Recycle your cell phones, your batteries, and all other electronics. And stop buying so much plastic. Next, remember that harassing wildlife is cruel and illegal. If you see anybody harassing, that means kind of like teasing the wildlife, please go ahead and report it to your local, state, or federal wildlife enforcement office. And last, you can protect wildlife habitat. Perhaps the greatest threat that faces many species is the widespread destruction of habitat. Scientists tell us the best way to protect endangered species is to protect the places where they live. Wildlife must have places to find food, shelter, and raise their young. Logging, oil and gas drilling, overgrazing, and development all result in habitat destruction. Endangered species habitat should be protected, and these impacts can be minimized. We can work together to create a better world. Yay! And we can work together to help save and protect our endangered animals.